Hello everyone, welcome to the market outlook for the week. Gaurang Shah here from Geojit Financial Services, and as I speak to all of you all this Monday morning, the momentum has been very strong over the last almost about 6 or 7 trading session in the markets, and the momentum continues to be on the upside this morning, driven by a lot of domestic and global cues. But before I go there, let me give you certain levels. This Monday morning at around about 10 o'clock, markets holding out quite strongly in the green. Levels are Sensex up 535 points, 81,620 is the level on Sensex. Nifty 150 points up, 24,975 is the level on Nifty Spot. Bank Nifty up 300 points, 51,230 is the level on Bank Nifty. And on rupee dollar and crude oil, well, strength on the rupee of 0.05 paise and the level is 83.83 rupees to $1. And on the crude oil front, a little bit of uptick on fallback of the news flows in the Middle East and the tension. $79.57 to a barrel is Brent. $75.37 to a barrel is NYMEX. On crude oil and rupee dollar, well, we had mentioned last time that news flows as far as the escalation is concerned in the Middle East will keep crude oil prices elevated, and that's what exactly has happened. Depending upon how the situation develops in the Middle East, I think the crude oil prices are going to move accordingly. So very difficult to put a precise range on the crude oil prices, Brent and NYMEX. But let's hope that the situation cools off and there is a spillover of cooling of crude oil prices as well. But most likely it is not going to stay elevated given the supply related, demand related news across the globe also that we heard last week from China. So a minor bump in crude oil can be there, but then a cool off. On the rupee dollar equation, if you recollect, we had mentioned that to move towards strength in the rupee, 83.85, 83.80, and maybe below that could be seen. Virtually replicating our view, rupee dollar equation with strength in rupee and possibly likely to be a little bit more stronger this week, keeping in mind the news flows that we are having. Now coming to the markets. Just to give you a recap of what we mentioned last week, we had mentioned the bias towards higher side with levels of 24,750 and 24,850 on the Nifty spot, and we had also mentioned that decisively a crossover in a close over 24,450, 24,500 will possibly propel the momentum with a little bit of more acceleration on the higher side, and that's the move that we've seen. And we had also mentioned last week that we have to prepare ourselves to see a new all-time high. So friends, this week the data points are quite positive as far as local and global events are concerned. First of all, this week we'll have GDP numbers from India and US. Last week on Jackson Hole meet, Mr. Powell, Fed chief, has very clearly indicated that the rate cuts are on the cards, and most likely September is the month wherein we will finally see the Fed moving towards its initial rate cuts. He has not mentioned about a specific date or the quantum of the rate cut, and he has clearly mentioned that it is going to be data dependent, but the rate cut is going to happen in September 2024, a long awaited one. And I think the reaction thereafter is what we'll wait and watch. GDP numbers, US and India, US should be in line with what the estimates are. As far as Indian GDP numbers are concerned, I think there are mixed opinions on the street. It could be, some are saying it will be in line with what the long-term averages has been, and some are saying that GDP numbers would be a little bit on the lower side, but finally we'll have to just wait and watch. But our view is that you have to look GDP numbers as a wholesome from a long-term point of view, not just 1 quarter, 2 quarter, and then possibly derive to a conclusion. And keeping in mind the very recent upgrades in GDP rate by a lot of foreign and local institutions, I think we are possibly placing ourselves for a better environment and level as far as GDP numbers are concerned. Reliance AGM is going to be there this week, held this week. There will be a lot of expectation and announcements. Expectations are going to be a lot. Announcement will definitely be something which will be prudent and wisdom oriented as far as the management of Reliance Industries is concerned. 8 IPOs are lined up this week, and it's good to see this primary market IPOs come. Some of them getting listed and giving good returns. Some of them getting listed virtually in line with expectation and then performing. But the good part about these IPOs are that fresh papers come into the market. These fresh IPO papers are justified in terms of valuation, and in terms of business, they are much more stable and productive. And of course, the validation of those IPOs have now changed over a period of time. It has become more clear, it has become more strict, it has become more agile, and it gives an opportunity for investors to have clear-cut decision in terms of the quality of that particular paper that is coming via IPO. So 8 of them lined up, and good to see that lineup. FIs and DIs activity. Well, for the month of August, domestic institutions were net sellers. Beg your pardon. Foreign institutional investors were net sellers, and domestic institutionals have outspaced the swelling number from the FIs. That means DIs have bought much more than what FIs have sold up till now in the month of August 2024. One thing that may possibly be a small speed breaker for the market in terms of upside is the F&O expiry, which is lined up for this month end expiry this Thursday, which may keep the markets a little bit choppy. But just in case, if we are able to cross over 25,000, 25 and move towards 25,050 and the all-time high number, and if we give a close above those levels before the expiry, then I think short covering will propel the market to the next highest level possible. This is subject to a lot of conditions in terms of the levels that we are looking out for. So speaking of levels, to give you certain levels like we did last time, lower level and higher level, 2 levels, 24,550, 24,600 is the level on the lower side, Nifty spot, which markets may find a little bit of base. On the higher side, 25,000 and 25,200. So this is going to be a new trajectory once we cross over 25,000, 25,050, 25,075 and give a close above that. I think the momentum is going to be quite strongly on the upside. If you are a short-term trader, try to maximize your profits by putting appropriate stop loss, trailing stop loss in the system. And if you are an investor, I think you should not be worried, because we are possibly placing ourselves after a good period of consolidation to the next higher trajectory. So friends, as always, we give you 2 investment ideas from a long-term point of view in our market outlook. First one is from the public sector bank, and the name is Bank of Baroda. After looking at the numbers, we have increased our target price to somewhere around 300 rupees from a long-term point of view. And our sense is that loan disbursement, gross net NPA improvement, provisioning coming down, and of course the CASA number becoming strong. This is one bank that could possibly give you a good momentum on the upside from a long-term point of view. So the first investment today is Bank of Baroda with a target of somewhere around 300 rupees. And let me tell you, friends, if the numbers are better, then these targets get revised upwards. The second one is from infrastructure construction related company called Dilip Buildcon. Infrastructure creation is going to be a big growth driver for all those companies which are associated with road, expressways, highways, port, airports, etc. Dilip Buildcon, this is one name that's not really been spoken about, but a very quiet performer in terms of order book execution and able to get new orders in its order book, and debt level is not something that is very a huge concern. Capabilities in terms of manpower, experience, etc. is also equally very high. So the second investment idea is Dilip Buildcon. with a target price of somewhere close to about 610. Again, with a disclosure that if the earning is in line, rather, if earning is above expectation, then these targets would definitely get revised upwards. But mind you, friend, these are all long-term fundamental ideas. These are not short-term. These are not medium-term. These are not BTST. So please be aware about that. Start at current levels and stagger your investments on correction. Start adding it to it, and we expect a decent return over a longer period of time from these two investments. Thank you very much for your patience, hearing, and I'll see you again next week. Till then, take care. Bye bye.